All right, so we're back at it. We're finally getting the logos on the car. So we've been working at this now. Alicia, my cousin, and I have been going back and forth for what feels like, I don't know, how long, Leash? 4 months? Yeah, it feels like quite a while. But in true fashion, once it's time to actually drift and go to an event, you have a deadline, and then you finally make it happen. But anyway, so yeah, we're laying down the first side right now. So she's got... we got the A-Blast and AutoWorks, and then we've got Curiosity kind of going where this blue tape is. So that is the layout that we went with. So that's that side, and then we're going to match it the best we can on the driver's side and get the spacing the same. And then we've also got the UMLAC Drifts logo, so you'll know where to find me now on Instagram and YouTube. If I go to car shows and whatnot, it's obvious. So can't thank Leisha more anymore. You've been great. So thanks for my cousin working with me. It's been nice.
I've enjoyed it.
And we got Riley here too, just hanging out. Anyway, so yeah, hopefully I drive some people your way. Are you still doing much with the drink cups? Have you gotten anything recently?
Yeah, actually, I've got to post a bunch more, but yeah, I've been doing lots of cups and
nice.
Some signs and all that, so yeah.
Cool, heck yeah. Well, we'll definitely, I gotta get a cup from you now. Like, good God. Like, you've done this for me and I don't even have one of her cups. So.
Maybe we should make it with the logo on it.
I mean, it'd be cool, yeah. Like, you'll know 100% it's UMLAC Drifts. But yeah, we're gonna finish up and get these on the car. Hey guys, doing a little trailer improvement tonight. We got 1 week until the US Air event, first event of the year, and we are making some improvements. So in the past, the trailer strap locations have not been ideal because I really only have this pocket right here, which the box gets in the way really bad. So we added 2 of these 1/2-inch bolt-on D-rings. So we got one here and one here for either side of the strap. So that is huge, big improvement. Shouldn't interfere with where we want to bolt the pack out onto. And then we're pretty much doing the same on the other side. So the other side had some problems too, because this pocket was always right where I would lay my tires, because the tires come up and they lay kind of like face down on the trailer. So it was always a problem. But now, since we got these, they literally fit pretty much perfectly in this channel, so that's kind of funny. The only thing I had to do is I had to trim the backing plate on the bottom side because the wood got in the way. It overhangs a bit. So this is pretty much just a glorified nice big washer, and then I trim the hardware down because it's hollow in there, so they stick down about that far and allows you to get a wrench in there and actually tighten them up. But yeah, we're about to get this side done, and then we should be ready to go for Shawano in a week. I got Kylie over here doing her household things, holding it down. Our household things, making our property look good. We got to do adult things once in a while, right, hon? But yeah, so we just I don't know, had Kylie guide me on, and we're just mocking it up, so that way I do not have to deal with this when we leave next week. So looking good, big improvement.
Can someone get this guy a PPE sponsorship?
Well, we'll check it out a bit more in the daytime tomorrow, but this is quite the upgrade, and I got Kylie staring at me in the background. She's not staring. But anyway, yeah, so check it out. Got 2 on both either side, and now it shouldn't interfere with where our tires are because we were using this pocket before, and should be able to get our jack and our pack out on here too, right in front of the car. So yeah, next we have to determine where the D-rings are going to go for this guy, the jack, which honestly might be able to get away with using the ones that I use for the tires, but then we definitely need some for the pack out. So that's the way she looks on this side. I'll show you. Got about this far back, overhanging that black lip a bit. And here is what the other side looks like. So you can see on the passenger side, same type of deal. 1 D-ring there, 1 D-ring there, and man oh man, it's going to simplify life when it comes to strapping this thing down. So very, very happy. When I go to the events this summer, I will thank myself profusely for doing that. So worth it. Now we got to work on getting these guys secured to the trailer in their locations with D-rings on the other side. So yeah, I'll update you guys once we move on to that project, but pretty much same scenario. Run a strap up and over, and then have a D-ring on both sides of the pack out and the jack. So yeah, nice trailer upgrades. Should be making our life a lot easier when it comes time to go to an event. So awesome. All right, trailer upgrade update. We are 1 week away from Shawano, going to US Air DD91 for our first event of the year, and we have everything. We have new mounting locations for everything. So the pack out, the straps for the front of the car, left enough room to, you know, ratchet everything pretty nicely, and I'm pretty stoked with how it turned out. So fit the pack out on the front, no longer have to take up room in the truck with that, and then same with the jack. So jack is super heavy, so the least lifting you can do, the better. But I love this thing. It's the Daytona 3-ton from Harbor Freight. This thing is a beast, so it's nice to have at the track. So yeah, still got room on my stripper poles, that's what I call them, for my tires. So yeah, it turned out pretty good. We got, you know, room on this side to ratchet and not hit the bumper, and yeah, just added a bunch of D-rings and new mounting locations for everything. So turned out pretty sweet, and yeah, we'll update you guys once we load this thing for real and we're going to our first event. We're just getting everything ready in the garage, all the prep work that goes into it. So I thought I'd film a little bit. I don't know if I'll, you know, time lapse or do a ton, but I'll at least show you kind of how I'm gonna do it. So I always have a spares tote. So my spares tote has what I think would be most likely to fail. So we got intercooler couplers. This one is gonna be my T-clamps. So I've got a bunch of T-clamps, you know, for my intercooler piping. And it's hard to get a shot from right here, but yeah, they're just right there, those silver clamps. I like them a lot more than like worm clamps, because they've got a nice like hex head on them, and they kind of grab a bit better than the worm gear, where it doesn't have those slots. It's just a threaded bolt. So I like that style. That's what I always ran, and it's treated me well. So yeah, intercooler stuff. Then we got a whole assortment of stuff: vacuum lines, spare coil packs, spare Z32 math, spare oil filter, relays, tie rods are in this box. It's inner tie rods, GK Tech Box Heroes outer tie rods. Got retaining clips. I've needed these once in a while, and they're kind of hard to come by. Spare wheel studs, spare belts, all my belts. So this will be just power steering and your, you know, alternator belt, and then all turbo gaskets, some spare turbo gaskets. What else? The spark plugs are down there too. Some exhaust hangers. It's kind of a random one, but yeah. So just putting together my spares. It feels good to be prepared as much as we can. I didn't get my manifold prepped. This is actually a spare turbo manifold. I still need to tap and thread these. These are M8 now. I'm going to step them up to M10. So we won't have that for the event, this event, but that's okay. And then spare alternator and starter. These things are heavy, and they really, really weigh down this spares box. So I'm going to try to keep them separated somehow. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at now. And then I am going to go through and do a little bit better job with spare hardware. So a lot of this hardware, it's really just random stuff that I thought might be important stuff to keep around over the years, but it really hasn't proved too useful. You know, stuff like engine hoist bolts, axle nuts, dress-up bolts, you know, it's all labeled here, flywheel bolts. I've never used it. So I think I'm going to make a little bit of a change for this year, and instead of doing, you know, hardware like this that's really, really niche and not used very often, I'm going to go to a bit more useful hardware, like these M10s are a good example. I don't know, this pack from O'Reilly's hasn't really treated me that well. So I've got a bunch of McMaster car hardware now that you guys have seen. So I'm gonna put together just my own little pack using my organizers, and then that will be in our spares tote as well. But yeah, for now we're gonna get our clamps and our coupler box in here, so we'll have a bunch of those spares. And then we'll just keep working our way down the line with other spares. So I'll update you guys when I have something more to share, but that's where we're at for now, getting ready for DD91. And here's what we got so far. So we've got all of our hardware organized, and in these are Husky Home Depot brand containers. So we got the larger hardware, pretty heavy, larger hardware over here. So your M8 and your M10 stuff. We got everything from, you know, nuts, bolts, and it's all the nice flanged stuff. So it's got a nice head on it with a flange underneath. This is good quality stuff from McMaster Car. You guys have seen that. So yeah, all the larger stuff there, and then the smaller M4, M5, M6 stuff in this one here. And then yeah, we got all the other spares. So we got tons of spare stuff. I'd rather have it and not use it, you know. There's that one time you don't bring something and you want it. So we got intercooler couplers, intercooler clamps, and these two top boxes. We got oil filter, mass airflow sensor, vacuum lines, spark plugs, inner and outer tie rods, spare coil packs, belts, wheel studs, lug nuts. It's all in here. So a little bit more manageable of a tote, not as heavy. And then we're gonna put the hardware in here. Not sure exactly how yet, but something like that. And then in our other box here on the floor, we've got our larger, heavier stuff. So we got spare control arms for the rear, spare knuckles, spare turbo manifold. We've got an alternator and a starter in here. So this is quite a bit of heavy stuff, and I tried to put it in a smaller box and label it heavy. You can see the label down there. But yeah, because the problem is when it was in this big box, it just became so unwieldy. Because when you're holding this bigger one, bigger tote, going in and out of houses and doorways, you don't fit. At least with this one, you fit. So you don't have to, you know, finagle it as much in that smaller tote. And it just keeps it from crushing all this other smaller stuff. You know, it was all that heavy stuff was rolling around and kind of crushing all my boxes and fuel filters and stuff in here. So keep them separated. But yeah, that's pretty much my spares. And then we'll do fluids and zip ties and consumables and all that other stuff, and this tote here, and towels and whatnot. So yeah, that'll pretty much be my spares, and then we'll move on to loading up the pack out over there, and then we should be good to go. But yeah, that's kind of the update for now, and I'll keep sharing as we have more. We've got updates since I last saw you. We've got the fluid tote ready, so we got everything we can think of for fluids in there. Brake cleaner, track spray, we got our washless car wash, WD-40, brake clean, brake fluid, a little bit of extra oil, PB blaster, just tons and tons of fluids. Most commonly used, window cleaner, I use that one every time, invisible glass, funnel, rags, disposable rags, zip ties, that's all in there. So yeah, that's that. And now we get to work our way over to the pack out. So I'm never really that efficient with this thing. I kind of load it up with just such a smorgasbord of tools, and I don't have too much you know, plan involved with it. However, I like to keep on the top the stuff that I'm going to grab the most frequently, which is going to be my ratchets, my extensions, my screwdrivers, a pair of pliers, you know, cutters, my dikes for cutting zip ties. Yeah, so that's basically what we got in the top drawer. And then as we go down in boxes, it's just less and less commonly grabbed tools. So yeah, we're just going to continue kind of loading up. And then the very bottom is kind of where I keep my power tools that are not frequently grabbed. So like a frequently grabbed example is definitely going to be this guy. I got this thing this year. It's a 1/2 inch mid torque. This is going to be my do-it-all lug nuts, bolts on cars, you know, suspension work. This one will not be in that bottom drawer because it'll be pretty hard to access when it's all stacked. But something like my right angle drill, not very common. My heat gun, not very common. I am going to bring the 1/2-inch big boy, the high torque. Not super common, but when you need it, you need it. Yeah, it kind of sucks because like my ratchet, this one is a very common one. So like for common tools like these two, I would even almost argue like the die grinder, but you would hope you're not bringing this out at the track, so it'll probably go on the bottom. But these two will not be in the bottom. These two are going to be my most frequently grabbed tools. So I'm just going to use one of my tool bags for that. And so I've got an assortment of these cloth tool bags, and they're perfect for more of like a, you know, quick on-the-go grab type item, like those two things. But yeah, we're gonna keep plugging away and just keep kind of getting ready for DD91. So I'll throw you guys on the tripod, and we'll just do a little time lapse, me loading up and getting ready. All right, we're back. Update for the DD91 spares and tool packing. As I was saying, I try to slim it down, but it never seems to happen. I mean, Kylie did get me this nice pack out, so I feel like I got to use it, and boy, do we use it. So the top one kind of has my most commonly grabbed items. Definitely going to go for ratchets, screwdrivers, extensions, you know, cutters, quick set of pliers, my safety glasses, gloves, and then as we get further into the other totes, it's just less commonly grabbed items. So we've got C-clip pliers. These are the nice ones too. So these don't have, like, those are the interchangeable head, kind of for smaller C-clips. These are for nice big ones, so that'll grab much bigger C-clips, pull them out. We got more screwdrivers, impact screwdrivers, heat gun, Allen keys, socket Allens, socket star bits. What else? Got Allen key 3/8, extensions, hex drivers, my Cobras, Nipex Cobras, and honestly these deserve to be pretty much in that top box. I love these pliers. So yeah, and then as you move through, it's just less and less grab things. Got more Allen keys, got all of my drill bits in case we got a drill. We got stuff for the attachments for my die grinder, different carbide burrs and stuff like that. And then, yeah, we got adjustable wrenches, crow's feet, hammers, more drilling, my punch set, which is in that green stripe bag, tap and die in case you need it. And then all the power tools are down here. So this is all my Milwaukee power tools that are not commonly grabbed. So that'd be like my die grinder is down there, when actually I grabbed this die grinder enough to where I think I'm going to put it in my common Milwaukee tool bag up here. She deserves that top spot. But yeah, my drill, my cordless screwdriver, my right angle drill, torque wrench. Don't really use torque wrench too much at the track. I have they call it a torque stick. Some people don't believe in them too much, but this is a 100-pound torque stick. It seems to treat me okay. I've never, like, you know, knock on wood, broke a lug nut or something crazy. But yeah, so that's my bottom box. And then this is more commonly grabbed tools that I want easy access to, and I really don't have space for them in the pack out. Not great compartments for them. So yeah, got all my wrenches just tossed in there. The Milwaukee tools I'm going to use the most, and then my sockets. So all my sockets. I like to get some better way of organizing sockets and things that are just thrown in there. But yeah, excited. We got a few new tools this time. We can cordlessly pump up any air, any situation we need air. Got the this guy that I've been using constantly, the 3/8 high-speed ratchet. This thing's sweet. And we've got the 1/2-inch mid-torque. So this thing, oh, Kylie's looking forward to this one. Feel it, hon. This is what you're going to be helping me change lug nuts with. And it's a lot less heavy than the other one. Come on, feel it. Hold it. Feel the weight. Feel the weight. See, you can even wield that one, right? So yeah, we got some new tools, got some things that should make life a little easier, but I bring too much, as you all know. I pack way more than we ever use. I'll probably only touch, like, I don't know, 15% all this stuff, but the one time you don't bring it, you need it. So we like to come prepared as much as we can. This is almost like as much preparedness, in my opinion, as like if you're going to like the 5K comp or something. But yeah, I'd rather stay on track and have everything we need as much as possible. And I hate that feeling of if you have something at home and you forgot to bring it and then you have to go buy it. I hate that feeling. So I bring as much as I can without being too ridiculous. So all right, guys, that's our update for packing. These tools are pretty much ready. I'm just going to stack the pack out box, and then we can move on to packing all our other things. So we'll be pulling the trailer around tomorrow. So it's Wednesday tonight. Tomorrow will be Thursday. We'll pull the trailer around, get the trailer all loaded, probably get the car on it tomorrow night. And then from there, we can load the rest of our trailer up so we can put our wheels on there, can put our jack on there, can put our pack out, get our jacks and our jack stands in the trailer box. It's got a nice little trailer box, and then we'll load this. So yeah, stay tuned, guys, and I'll try to film as much as I can as we pack and kind of take you along for the interesting parts. So thanks for watching. All right, we're continuing the DD91 prep. I'm gonna try to set up my tripod so you guys can kind of get a look at what I'm doing. So right now it is Thursday. It's the night before we leave. We're gonna leave Friday. Oh, don't know why I flipped that around. We're gonna leave Friday around 2 p.m. The event doesn't start until Saturday morning, but I like to get there Friday evening, unload in the pits, put our trailer in its spot, and then go to the hotel, get some food, and relax. So we got about 24 hours until we leave, and this is what we're up to now. So we got a little bit of a list left to do. We've got to have Kylie put our sponsor sticker on. So we had messed up kind of the placement of the AutoWorks sticker. She said it was floating too much out in space over here. So I'm gonna have her lay that down on here, closer to the Curiosity Coating and A-Blast. So we got those to put on. We have to set all our rear tires to 33 PSI. That's what we're gonna start with for the weekend. And I wanna spray some silicone underneath. The GK Tech lower control arm bushings are pretty squeaky, so they've been making noise, some spherical bushings. And then we've already grabbed 2 more tires from the attic, so that's fine. Cross that one off. But yeah, from here, it's basically, we got to swap out. These are our street wheels, so we don't run these gray wheels. at the track, just that way when I come home from a drift event, I've always got a pair of rears and they match the front, which is great for the street, but a pair of rears that are not burnt up and ready to go. So we'll jack this thing up, we'll take those off, and then we'll throw one of our first set of burners on for the weekend. So for the weekend, we've got 2 sets of under half-life tires. So you got those, and then these. And then we've got already 2 brand new Ironmans on these wheels. So it's essentially 4 brand new tires, and then we're gonna bring 4 more brand new tires. So it's those 2 and those 2. So way overkill, but we've got spots on the trailer for 8. So I might as well use them on my 2 poles there, 4 on each pole. So yeah, we'll get this thing, we'll get all of our tires off the wall, we'll get this thing jacked up, and get our first set of burners on for the weekend. And then we'll check tire pressures and all that once it's down and start loading up the trailer. Alright, I'll take you guys for a little run through of the final packing. You guys saw me kind of loading the tires and loading the pack out and a few things onto the trailer, but here's the grand tour. So all we have left to go in the Suburban, which I'm pretty happy about this, is my my fluids and rags and you know, miscellaneous tote, and then my track spares that are not as heavy. So that's like my tie rods, my oil filter, you know, spark plugs, all that, a little bit lighter stuff, my hardware, my nuts and bolts. And then we do use the 240. So we've got a couple of tool bags back here with miscellaneous sockets and my long ratchets and open-ended wrenches are all in that bag. So we use the trunk. Moving up here, so you can see we got the drift spares on in the rear. So she is ready for her maiden voyage at US Air. And then we've got our race jugs. I don't know, this seems to be the best spot for them because they do have those tall little nozzles like that. That way we can keep all the gas smell and stuff in here and not in the tow rig. So we got those, and then I just like to wedge a little tool bag here so that this one can't move as easily. So that is the 240. She's all loaded down, and then we move to the trailer. So this is all new for me this year. So the pack out used to go in the Suburban. So I used to load that heavy thing in the Suburban, take up a bunch of room, and it was kind of a pain to get in and out of the Suburban. So this is, I think, a bit easier. And I double strapped it. It's probably a bit overkill, but I like these, you know, metal, I guess, rails that are on either side. So I've got like kind of a V pattern going with two straps. It comes over, goes through the same locations on that other side, and then comes down to a D-ring over there. And then going this way, so we've got our heavy track spares. So this is like our turbo manifold, alternator, starter, control arms, knuckles, that kind of thing. That's in here, and we just have ratchet strap. I never knew, but I think that's what these holes are actually for on this tote, is for ratchet strap. So yeah, we got a short one from that D-ring to that D-ring, and then last but not least, at least for tools and whatnot, is our nice big Daytona 3-ton jack. This thing has been amazing, guys. Like, I have, when I bought this jack probably 3 or 4 years ago, I lived in an apartment in New Brighton, and I mean, it's the best jack I've ever purchased. Gets the vehicle really high, doesn't require a lot of pumps, and yeah, it's low enough to get under my car for the most part. But yeah, so this, I used to never bring this to events. I only used to bring my race jack, which is, I'll show you guys in a minute, but that race jack, if you have to do anything serious, like, you can't get the car high enough, you need the big boy. So the big boy stays on the trailer. I don't know how water treats it, but you know, we'll clean her up. If something looks rusty, we'll scrape it off. But yeah, she's out in the elements on the trailer. And then we just have our nice bolted D-ring here. And these straps, guys, I need to get me more of these that have like the nice retaining, I guess, what would you call it, retaining clip. Because these ones, once you slide them on the D-ring, they have a tendency to slip off as you're trying to strap things down. So I'm going to order me another Amazon pack of these because these are sweet. But anyway, yeah, moving on. So we've got our 4 tires mounted on our wheels here. So these 2 on top are my used fronts from last year. You can see the name, the Hankook Ventus. That's what I ran on the front. But they about half-life, a little less than half. So we can burn those off, nice burners. And then we got a brand new pair of Ironmans mounted down below. And then on the inner pole, we've got 4 brand new Ironmans. This is definitely a bit overkill for this weekend. I mean, that's essentially like bringing 8 brand new tires, which we'll never go through, but I'd rather have more than not enough. So that's what we got for tires for the weekend. Moving this way, so we've got this trailer box. I don't know, I'm hit or miss on this trailer box. It's treated me okay. I think when we do a winch box in the front, so they make like this winch box that can mount to the frame here. I think we'll have to see how it's going to work, but I think Hanson's going to have to weld like a horizontal support brace for the winch box. And then I'm on our winch right here. The reason I want it in a box is because if you have a winch, you need a battery. You also need stuff to service the winch. I don't know. It'd be nice to keep all that out of the elements in a box. Might even put a solar panel on it. That'd be going pretty far. But you know, once that winch box is here, you know, obviously we'd have to move these middle tires out of the way, and then we may not have as much of a reason for this trailer box. I mean, we'll see. I don't know. This trailer box is okay. It just, in the end, it doesn't end up really holding as much as you'd think it would, and it takes up a lot of space on the trailer. You know, if that wasn't there, you know, you could basically move the pack out and that tote forward quite a bit, but I don't know, we'll see. That is the beauty of having a 20-foot trailer though, so I got the 20-foot just in case I ever wanted to do something like this and use the front a bit more. In my mind, it was going to be to store toys, you know, like pit vehicles and pit bikes and whatnot, but you know, now it's serving a pretty practical purpose. Keeps a lot of heavy stuff out of the Suburban, especially if we're going to camp in there. This is super nice. So yeah, we just got our straps ready for us to strap down the car. So I'm going to pull this thing forward and get it into position to just pull it on. And we'll bring out the ramps. They're just stored here in the side. Bring out the ramps, and then we do need our wood extensions. So yeah, I'll get that going. I'll get it all set up for loading, and then we got our two scooters this time. So mine's on the left here and Kylie's is on the right. She got a Segway, the 9-bot. It's pretty cool that we're both gonna have a scooter now. So yeah, we'll be mobbing at events and in the hood if we want. But yeah, I'm pretty stoked, guys. It's a good feeling to be packed kind of the night before. That way when she gets home early from work tomorrow, we can just pretty much leisurely take off. I am a little bit worried about having my stuff on the trailer overnight like that. I mean, that's a lot of money and tires and tools, but oh well. We live in a pretty safe neighborhood. As long as none of you weirdos on the internet come and track me down. I hope not. But anyway, yeah, so that's it for packing. It's cool to see the tire wall all cleared off. So those are all of our spares for the weekend. And then we did pick up another set of rear spares. Got a good deal on these. These are those square G6s. I like the lip on them too. It's kind of sweet. So we will actually have eight wheels as spares now. We used to only have 6 up on this rack. So 8 wheels up on the rack, 4 street wheels on the car. That's 12 wheels total. We got a lot of wheels. But yeah, got the big canopy too to try out. New scooter. New mounting stuff on the trailer. So just trying to improve our setup every time we go to the track, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. Hopefully, you know, at US Air it's not as big a deal to keep stuff on the trailer and out of the Suburban because we just end up getting a hotel. But at Fargo, it's essential that we keep as much out of that Suburban as we can because we sleep in there, we camp in there the whole weekend. So you know, it really frees up space by putting all that on the trailer. But either way, I mean, it is nice. Even now, even if we're going to Shawano and US Air and we don't need it out of the trailer, it's still nice because then I can probably leave the subwoofer in. So we'll bump some tunes and just, you know, any extra room we can have in here, you know, the better. Why not? So yeah, gave the Suburban a wash today. So she's looking pretty good. She sits outside all year, so it's hard to make this thing look good at any point in time. But yeah, gave that a wash and gave this a wash. So we've got everything as clean as can be. And we're pretty much ready. Now we just got to do all of our house stuff and our clothes and food and whatnot for the weekend. But yeah, I hope she gets home here shortly. We eat, load the car, load the Suburban, and then we're all loaded for tomorrow. But yeah, I'll kind of tune you guys in once I have more. By the way, guys, I just have to say this is the way to go as far as loading and unloading goes. I pulled the truck and trailer right up to the garage, and then I flipped the car around so that I can just pull it straight on. Before, I would like load everything, move everything to the street, and so on and so forth. But now that I've gotten more comfortable with, you know, backing my trailer up and all that, we just pull that thing straight on. So good feeling. Just trying to make things easier and easier as much as we can. The only thing is, you know, leaving enough space for Kylie to pull her car in. So you still got dailies coming in and out of here, Kylie's car. So yep, I leave a nice little path so she can pull in right when she gets home, and that's her parking spot. So yeah, guys, just had to update you that I don't know, getting better and better with it, making our lives easier when we go to events, but feels good. And let's get to DD91. Let's go. All right, DD91 update. It is Friday, and today is the day that we leave. The event doesn't start until Saturday, but we like to get there the night before, unload the car, set up our pit area with our canopy and all our tools and all that. That way, the following morning on Saturday, they start the event at 9:30 a.m. I think the driver's meeting is even earlier. So it's just nice if Friday night you can get there, set everything up, so that way you get there from the hotel Saturday morning and everything is ready to rip. But yeah, I'll give you guys a walkthrough. So Kylie last minute charged her scooter, so we got that thing all charged. The light is green, so hers is good to go, and so is mine. So we still have to load those two things. But everything else is pretty much loaded. So we got the car on the trailer. So this is kind of my setup. So we've got the wood boards. I need these for getting it on and off the trailer. The built-in ramps just aren't quite enough. But yeah, so we've got the trailer ramps and boards back here, and then moving to the front, we got all of our improvements. So it's a lot to look at up here, but it's kind of nice to keep it out of the Suburban as much as we can. So we got the D-rings. So we got 2 D-rings on either side. The other side pretty much just mirrors this, but I'll show you. So D-rings to make it much easier. In the past, I had to go to this pocket right here, and this pocket was always getting blocked by this box. So this literally took me no time at all to get this thing strapped down. And then we've got the pack out right here. So the pack out is also on the trailer now. This used to live in the Suburban, but kind of just nice. It's weather tight anyway, so keep it back here. And then I've got 2 D-rings on either side, 1 on either side. And then I got this kind of a V formation going on. So I got the ratchet strap, really making sure it's through, because you know there's really nowhere over the top directly to go through. So this was my best bet, and it is solid. So hopefully she's not going anywhere. But then we move on. Got my trailer box, so this just holds my track jack. I got a spare jack for the trailer in case we're stranded with just the trailer and we need a jack. My jack stands, my wheel dolly for US Air. When you mount spares, it's nice to push it around on a little dolly. And then some tarps if we ever need tarps. So not too much going on in there. And then we move to the tires. So this tire rack setup can hold 8 wheels and tires. So that's what we got. The outside here is mounted. These are mounted on wheels. So we got 2 new ones and 2 under half on the bottom. And we just got 4 brand new Ironmans hanging out here on the center pole. Moving this way, we've got our jack. So this is our 3-ton Daytona jack. I love this thing. But yeah, there it is on the trailer next to a tote. So the tote definitely pushed the car back a bit further than I'm used to. I hope it doesn't mess with like the weight distribution on the trailer. So you know, we still got room. There's what, you know, a good, I guess, foot or foot and a half to the end. But yeah, we'll see how she hauls. Moving everything back, the car back anyway, really actually puts less squat and less, I guess you would say, tongue weight on the trailer. So the burb is not squatting nearly as much as if I was to pull this thing another 2 feet forward. But yeah, we'll see how she tows. Worst comes to worst, I don't want to have to, but we can remove this tote and pull the car forward another foot if we really need to. But yeah, then in the Suburban, we got pretty much our canopy, our chairs, some spare, all of Matt's spare extra totes. It's still a lot of totes that I got. But yeah, there's my spare totes. And then moving around this way, we get to leave the subwoofer in for US Air because we're not sleeping in here, so we'll be bumping, Kylie and I. And then we got our table, so we set up a table every time we're at the track. So pretty much just our cooler, our bags, and our scooters, and we are good to go. So yeah, that's the setup, guys. Hope you enjoyed a little bit of a walkthrough before we leave and seeing everything on the trailer, because I'm excited and I'm getting pumped. Hopefully the old Suburban keeps treating us well. This thing has been good to us, and we hope she keeps on being good to us. So we love this thing. New tires on the trailer, 4 new tires on the trailer, and we've got a spare. We just rotated one of the old tires as our spare. So yeah, we should be good to go, man. Everything's hooked up, and let's hit the road. We're gonna have some lunch when Kylie gets home shortly, and we are gonna leave. So there she all is. Take it all in one more time. But yeah, guys, I'm super pumped for the first event of the year. Got lots of new toys and the canopies and the scooters and the mounting trailer enhancements and whatnot, and not to mention all the car enhancements. I mean, tons of improvements to the suspension. Subframe bushings are brand new. All of the improved anti-squat geometry that we welded onto the subframe. Yeah, the clearancing we did, I hope it all pays off and feels good on track. So let's get it, man. My goals for this event are number one, third gear entries. So if I can get into third on advanced and intermediate, that'd be awesome. In the past, my transmission was pretty much broken in second gear, so I couldn't shift into second very quickly. So that really hurt my ability to hit these entries in third, because a lot of times it's third into the entry and then I have to quick downshift and grab second. So now we have a transmission that shifts well, so hopefully we're good. Second goal is to get closer to the wall on advanced, so I'd like to set myself up better. We were practicing it in Aceto. Shout out to the door bashers. We were practicing it for the past week, how to kind of swing a little bit wider to set yourself up for a nice, I guess, flick at the wall. So hopefully we can get better wall proximity and better flicks at it. And then third is just closer tandems. That track is pretty hard to tandem with other drivers. It's not the easiest track in the world compared to like ND, you know, Interstate Raceway is super easy. But yeah, let's get it. And one last shout out to the sponsors. We got their decals on for the weekend. So AutoWorks, thank you for all the tires. That's awesome. Curiosity Coatings and A-Blast, thank you for the powder coat job. You know, it's all covered up, but if you get under there, you can see the goods. So that subframe looking good. And then, you know, our brake calipers as well, you know, poking through front and rear, looking real good. So yeah, it's awesome. Hopefully get some visibility, get their names out there, and support each other, right? But yeah, let's head out for the weekend, guys, and I can't wait to drive. Let's get it.